Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video I'll be showing you how to edit like Peter McKinnon. After watching his bucket shot video today, which was phenomenal, I'll link it down below. Please go check it out. That video inspired me to try and edit like this photo here that he took at Moraine Lake. So I noticed in his photo it's basically just all white and blue. And so that's what he did over here. This is the photo that we're working with. Here's before and after. It was a lot easier than I thought, so we'll just go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and hit reset. So the first thing I want to do is bring down the temperature, make it a little more cold. So I'll bring this down to about 4,500. That works. And I'll bring up the exposure. It's a little too dark for me. About 60 is fine. And in Peter McKinnon's photos, I see he likes to add contrast, so we'll add a little bit there too. Highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks. We'll bump up the three of these. So for the highlights, we'll bring to 30. And about, that works. And then shadows. 25 is good. And the whites, we'll bring those up as well. Say about 30. 35 will be alright. And then the blacks, we're going to bring these down. Alright, and then we're going to add some clarity. Get this bad boy a little sharp. So bring it around 20 will be good. And then since we really want some of the colors here to pop, we're gonna bring up the vibrance and saturation to bring those colors out. So we'll bring that about 45. Saturation we're gonna bring up 2. Okay, so here's before and after so far. It doesn't look anything like it yet, but I promise we'll get there. Alright, so the next is the tone curve. I'll mess with the highlights a little bit more, so I'll bring this up. There's good. And then for the midtones, mess this, bring it down a little bit. Alright, so then for the shadows and blacks, we're gonna get a little tricky here. We're gonna add 2 points. So right there, and then I'll bring this bad boy up to add a little bit of fade. Alright, looking good so far. Now we'll come down to the hues, and the only thing I want to adjust here, I would say, is the blues, because we don't really need to mess with anything else. So for the aquas, we'll just bring those up 60, and then the blues we're going to bring down to give that nice teal look. Alright, that'll be good. And then move over to saturation. I don't want any reds, oranges, or yellows, so I'm going to bring all these down, even the greens. Like I said, again, the only thing we're messing with will be the aquas and blues. So for the aquas, I'll bring these down 58, that'll be good. And the blues, I'm gonna bring these up to 22. That looks good to me. And then over to the luminance. Let's see. And then I do want to bring this brown up just a little bit. So I'm gonna bump up the luminance just to make it a little lighter in the yellows. And then what I mess with here, just the blues. Just make it a little brighter. 17 sounds about right. And then you always gotta sharpen your photos, make sure they look good for the gram. So we'll bring that up to about 60. And then the highlights, I do want to add some vignette, but I don't want to add a lot, so I'm just gonna do around 13 will be good. Alright, so we're almost done. I know it doesn't look that much like it. You're probably freaking out about these trees and all that. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't want to mess with the water too much, I like how the water is, so I'm gonna add a graduated filter. And so it's just gonna be for the trees that we have up there, if I can get this right. I'm bad at balancing this, make sure it's perfectly. Oh, come on. I apologize. I'm just messing up everything around here. Oh, there we go. Found it. Bring that up. Alright, so what I want to do with the trees is just to saturate them. I don't want to saturate them too much, just a little bit. So I'll bring this up. Alright, so then what I'll bring it down, I'd say around 62. That works. And then highlights, I want to bring those down because they look starting to look a little blown out. So highlights, I'm gonna bring those down all the way. The shadows, I'm gonna bring up just a tad. And then let's see, that looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Let me make sure I got it on point. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so the next thing, I really don't have to mess with it too much. This is pretty much it, but I like to make sure my photos are perfect. So I'm going to add another graduated filter, but for down here. And I'll explain what I'm doing. So what I'm doing here is I'm bringing back some of the detail in the snow we have over here. It's a little blown out. So what I'm going to do, first thing, I want to add a little bit of contrast to it, bring back some of the details. So I'll bring that up all the way. Highlights, I'm going to bring down once again to bring back some detail. And the shadows, just pop those up just a little bit. Alright, so that is it. Here's the before, and then here is the after. Thank you guys for watching. Please do me a favor and like and comment on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you aren't already so you don't miss out on videos like this in the future. Thanks again for watching, guys. Until next time, bye.